Hello and welcome to Gigglefish for all my new subscribers. This is Kelly Bean. This channel is all about healing and humor. The goal is to provide relief for all of us as I work on healing myself, to provide relief for myself by renewing my mind. So as I do that and I allow God to heal the errors in my mind, I'm sharing those messages so that they can hopefully be an encouragement, that if any of them speak to you, that you can be encouraged and heal as well. So I had a dream last night, and I'm just gonna, for the rest of this video, record this amazing setting that I'm in. I'm sitting in the middle of the creek. It's one of my favorite things to do, and lets you know what the message of the dream is. This is primarily a message. It is a message for everyone, but specifically targeted to teenage girls and girls that are coming into womanhood, because a lot of them, so let me just explain the dream. Okay, I'm not going to explain the dream actually, but I am going to explain what the message was from it. When we are raising our children, it's very important to steward them in a way that they are full spiritually. And I do not mean by a church. All of the churches at this time are compromised. They're all about their way, their religious dogma. It is not about coming to the feet of Jesus and establishing that personal relationship. So if you are not being guided to do that, you are being misled. And this is so basically what the message and the feeling was from the dream is that, particularly for young women at this time, they are rudderless. This is for everyone that feels rudderless. So what I mean by that is the reason women are more vulnerable to having issues when they don't have a strong foundation, and this is the foundation that we can steward our children with, that lets them know that God is within them, making sure that they know that they can trust themselves, that they can trust themselves as the self that God created, to trust the small voice, the little voice. If there's one message that I gave my son in particular, and tried to show my kids, was, when I don't know the answer, ask the little voice. In other words, rely on the internal counsel from God. The reason this is so important, especially for women, is because women are naturally conditioned to please, to sacrifice themselves, to do what they need to do for their husbands and their children. And because of this, their natural inclinations to sacrifice, and the way that women are being brought up now today to seek validation in everything external, is leaving them empty and vacant on the inside. And that makes them very susceptible to what I call the persuasion of worms. If they get in a bad relationship with a man, it's an easier time for him to be able to manipulate her and to use her goodness against her. Or if we are only giving our children all of the external things that money can buy, good experiences, the best schools, the best makeup, and we continue to validate that their worth has to do with the external, we are leaving them open to major disaster. And I have made this mistake, okay? I am guilty of this, and I have seen the devastating effects of it. So I just want to encourage us as stewards of children that more important than the things you can provide for them externally through lessons and experiences and, music lessons, whatever, is instilling in them a trust in themselves so they have the confidence that they need, and coupling that with a relationship with God. Because for those of us who understand how important that is, it's impossible to raise a child that's going to do okay in this world without that. And they might have the external things, but what they really need when times get tough is that stewardship. And I'm actually recording a very sweet little boy walking with his, I think, grandma, I'm not sure. This little boy came over to me and was so sweet. He blessed me with these little leaves, which I'll show you. And so what I'm filming right now, because the Lord is good and there are no mistakes, He just put them in the path of this video, is us being good stewards to our children. So be sure that we are teaching our children that the things of this world, having good makeup, all of the things that all social media and the ways that they are being influenced, especially for women, to put their validation, and it's equal for men, put their validation in their jobs, put their validation in how much money they make. All of these things are lies. They are actual lies because they are not our identity. It is a deception that leads to pain, because when the idol that we are putting above our relationship with ourselves/God, and I say that because they really are the same. We are God. And so once we get that full house, meaning we have camped out in our own house and the Lord is there with us, we cannot be shaken. So when the relationship disappears or the job disappears, we are not freaking the blank out. We have some rough times coming ahead, and a lot of people are going to start understanding this concept because they do not have their house built on a rock. And we are part of the rock. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Take time if you are not, and here's the mistake I made in case anyone can learn from my mistake. I was a single parent, and because of that, by the time my kids could fend for themselves and they became teenagers, I was so exhausted. Quite frankly, I was pretty suicidal in the sense that I just couldn't do it anymore. With as hard as my life has been, I was like, thank goodness they're teenagers, or they can make themselves some soup. And so I backed off when I really needed to press in. When they're teenagers is when you need to press in the most, and to encourage them and support them on internal pursuits. Talk with them, find out how they're processing things. If they're letting a man or a relationship guide them and they're not letting their internal knowing guide them, that's a problem. Etc., etc. I could talk about this all day, but you get the point. So I just wanted to tell you that I love you. I appreciate you. Whatever you've done until now is what it is. But if you have kids or grandkids that come along, start focusing on their internal life and those internal dialogues more than buying them an Xbox or whatever it is you think will make them happy, because ultimately that will not make them happy. That is temporary, and it doesn't add anything to their character or anything of value that's going to help them actually deal with the hard things in life. So hope you're doing great, and God bless you all. Have a peaceful day, and I'll just give you a moment to enjoy this sweet treat as I'm enjoying.